Welcome to Catholic Daily Mass Readings. Today is Monday, the 22nd of June, 2026, Saints John Fisher, Bishop, and Thomas More, Martyrs. Today we celebrate Saints John Fisher, Bishop, and Thomas More, Martyrs. We are in the season of ordinary time. Today's Mass readings invite us to reflect on the importance of living a life of integrity and humility. The first reading reminds us that when we turn away from God's commandments and follow our own desires, we can lose our way and suffer the consequences. The psalm expresses the cry of a people who have experienced hardship and are seeking God's help and guidance. In the Gospel, Jesus teaches us that before we can help others, we must first examine our own hearts and actions, letting go of our tendency to judge and criticize, and instead seeking to understand and love one another. By doing so, we can create a more compassionate and supportive community, where everyone can grow and flourish. A reading from 2 Kings, Chapter 17, verses 5 to 8 and 13 to 15 and 18. The king of Assyria invaded the whole country and, coming to Samaria, laid siege to it for 3 years. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria captured Samaria and deported the Israelites to Assyria. He settled them in Hala on the Habor, a river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes. This happened because the Israelites had sinned against the Lord their God, who had brought them out of the land of Egypt, out of the grip of Pharaoh king of Egypt. They worshipped other gods, they followed the practices of the nations that the Lord had dispossessed for them. And yet through all the prophets and all the seers, the Lord had given Israel and Judah this warning: turn from your wicked ways and keep my commandments and my laws in accordance with the entire law I laid down for your fathers and delivered to them through my servants the prophets. But they would not listen. They were more stubborn than their ancestors had been, who had no faith in the Lord their God. They despised his laws and the covenant he had made with their ancestors, and the warnings he had given them. They pursued emptiness, and themselves became empty through copying the nations round them, although the Lord had ordered them not to act as they did. For this, the Lord was enraged with Israel and thrust them away from him. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 7, verses 1 to 5. Jesus said to his disciples, "Do not judge, and you will not be judged, because the judgments you give are the judgments you will get, and the amount you measure out is the amount you will be given. Why do you observe the splinter in your brother's eye and never notice the plank in your own? How dare you say to your brother, 'Let me take the splinter out of your eye,' when all the time there is a plank in your own? Hypocrite! Take the plank out of your own eye first, and then you will see clearly enough to take the splinter out of your brother's eye." Take a moment to reflect. It's easy to judge others, and doing so can bring a certain satisfaction, albeit a fleeting and destructive one. Every sin, including judgment, offers a degree of emotional satisfaction, but it's a disordered and ultimately harmful pleasure. When we presume the worst about someone's words or actions, we're committing the sin of rash judgment, which the Catechism of the Catholic Church warns against as an offense against truth. This sin can manifest in gossip, detraction, or slander, all of which flow from a heart that finds satisfaction in condemning rather than showing mercy. Whenever we unfairly judge someone, whether in our thoughts or publicly, we fall into this sin. To overcome it, we must examine our motivations, recognizing that sin can be deceptive, especially to the person committing it. The sin of judgment can feel justified, even like a moral obligation, which makes it particularly insidious. The scribes and Pharisees, for example, judged others based on their rigid traditions rather than true righteousness, convinced that they were acting in God's name, but their self-righteousness was actually rooted in pride, harming both others and their own souls. Overcoming a judgmental heart is challenging, requiring us to let go of disordered feelings and hurts and turn to God's wisdom. This process can be painful, as it involves acknowledging our own sin, especially when someone's words or actions have offended us. However, Jesus teaches us that we must first remove the wooden beam from our own eye before we can help remove the splinter from someone else's. This means we must confront our own flaws and weaknesses before trying to correct others, and it's only by doing so that we can see clearly and act with true compassion and understanding. By turning to God's light and wisdom, we can begin to overcome our judgmental tendencies and learn to approach others with mercy and kindness, rather than condemnation and criticism. Let us now still our hearts and turn to God in prayer. Lord, help us to look inward and recognize our own flaws, that we may humble ourselves and avoid judging others. Give us the courage to remove the planks from our own eyes, that we may see clearly and love our brothers and sisters with kindness and compassion, as you love us. Thank you for joining us for today's daily Mass readings. God bless you and your family. Subscribe for daily readings, and we will see you tomorrow.